Hello everyone, so this is our second video and we are here with Maeve, who studies with us the Master of Health Science, and we are very excited to ask her about her experience in Germany and with university. So
yeah, I would love to start with our first question. So how was it for you in general to come to Germany from the US?
So it was pretty different at first. I had never been to Munich before, and there were a lot of things, especially related to university and finding a flat and getting a job and everything sort of at the same time. So I was lucky enough to have some people in the country before, which helped with the process, but it was certainly a culture shock, and there's just a lot of little details that you don't necessarily notice, and at times it's hard to break through to the culture and really get to know people. So I guess those were the initial experiences, but on the whole I've been completely pleasantly surprised by Munich, by the course, by TUM, by everything. So
yeah, that's very nice to hear. What would you say about the differences, or coming from the US and in the culture in general here in Germany, like in Munich?
So in the US, a lot of the times, especially in smaller towns, you have a conversation with everyone you meet, and people are very chatty, and here that's certainly not as much true, and it's harder at first to break through. But once you do, people are really welcoming and really generous, and that's been my experience so far, and just showing an effort at the language at least, or trying to immerse yourself, I think goes a long way. So that's been helpful.
Yeah, that's good.
So did you have some experiences when you didn't come further with English? Because of course Munich is a big city, but maybe that might happen to you.
Yeah, so especially I think the initial thing is dealing with health insurance, because we have to prove it, or
for
the university, and they ask for you to prove that you're at university to get there, and being on the phone, and the last English person has left for the day at 4 p.m. every day, and so it's just, and then people just don't speak English. So, and that's something where it's really hard to get by. It's not like you're buying a sandwich, so which I managed to do within my first few days, or at least a pretzel.
But how is it going with the language? Are you taking any courses, or would you suggest any websites or just normal courses? What help you?
Yeah, I think it would be really helpful if, my best tip came from you actually, which I didn't see advertised anywhere, and I was definitely looking for it, is the Virtuelle Hochschule Bayern.
Yeah.
And that's just an online course which you can do during the semester, because the courses that are free at the university, or most universities, are often just so overloaded with people. So if there was some sort of way to break through with that, to set that up, that would be helpful. And then also, I'm now for the inner semester, I'm taking other courses to supplement, but it's all, there's a high demand for everything, but just making note cards and everything.
Yeah, so you'd say there's definitely a need for more spaces to learn German, for example, at the university.
I think that would be, and more flexible spaces. It's really hard also to commit to 3 hours a week, which doesn't sound like that much, but then plus university
classes,
and going onto all the different campuses, it's a lot. So if there were something smaller than that would be great.
Yeah, one thing which is also especially interesting in Munich would be housing. How was it for you to find housing?
Yeah.
How long did it take? What kind of difficulties did you have?
Yeah, so first finding it, I never knew it was going to be as difficult. People say it's going to be difficult, but I've been to difficult places before. And when I first stayed here, I found something through WG gesucht, and it was just renting from someone to find a place for a month, and then to find the place that I have now was on Immobilien Scout 25. 24. Ich lerne immer found that it's just after applying to and seeing like probably 10 places, you just eventually get lucky. And I also was looking for a place with my German partner, so it made it a lot easier to know the applications, but it would be helpful to have someone tell you how you're supposed to look in the eye, like in an application or something. So.
Did you hear some experience from others? How did it go for them?
I mean, I've heard a lot of experiences with like I was talking to an American couple or American-Australian couple last week, and they were looking for 3 months and for a place in Munich, and just settled for a place that's over an hour outside of the city because it just is so difficult, and you hear that from a lot of people, especially if you have particular needs. So it's a hard industry to break into. I think you just have to be creative, which is not ever helpful either. But
so just trying
a lot
possibilities,
and maybe if there was like something set up for an application, like how you should design an application for housing or something.
I think that would help you in Munich. It's like you have to have so much information when you go to the landlords. Very demanding. So probably that would be a good idea that maybe we could also like work on or just have a general.
Yeah, that would be
maybe ask people and maybe help you and
Which kind of leads to the next topic, like having a job that can finance your housing. So how was it with jobs, being an English speaker? How big was the offer for you?
So it was, I was mainly just browsing sites before I got here because I wanted to have something sort of set up. And before that I mainly looked on the TUM job advertisement website for really the only jobs in English, which outside of IT and like computer sciences, there was a writing job, so I got lucky with that to apply to that in advance. And since being in Munich, I've gotten another job, but just through really persevering with emails and like connecting with people in the field. People are generally willing to help and looking for like working students and stuff. Assuming that most people watching this are students, so that was a huge help. It's really hard to find anything that requires no German and is just advertised in English. It exists, but it's a lot harder, I would say.
So, do you have like any tips for the viewers for, I don't know, like finding hobbies, connecting with people,
doing sports?
How is that possible in Munich to get to know people, or what do you actually do in your free time?
Yeah, I mean, what I've done, I do what I do in most cities, which I used to rock climb a lot, so I've joined a bouldering gym, and I've joined the outdoor society, and I'm planning to go on trips with them. And that's just a nice way of connecting, getting more immersed, especially because it is something that's outside of the school also, so that's nice. Although I would love to be involved also at the school, like if I were aware of if there was a casual football team or something, that would be really nice. But I have not been able to figure out how that works. So I joined climbing, and that was helpful, and Munich is super outdoorsy. I know a lot of people join running clubs, and that those exist a lot around here. So sports is a good way of getting in, but that's sort of what I would naturally do. So also I think there's like language probably get-togethers of intercultural meetings, though I'm not as sure. But sports is a great way of breaking through.
Connecting to others maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we wanted to ask you like how do you feel in general now? How would you describe like how integrated are you after 6 months of being here, and how did you manage to get at this point?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot more at home here than I would have expected to, especially more than in the first few months because things are just crazy. Moving to a new country and everything. But you feel a lot like, I think it depends on whatever the course is, but the people have definitely made the place, and it's been really nice to have that develop over time, and I'm sure it will only increasingly feel a little like home, and I don't know what my big tips would be for having that happen, because it is really hard. It's a complex process and it's not always easy, and there are huge obstacles sometimes, but just like staying open and like staying positive, and people are there to help you, and so
that's great to hear.
Yeah, nothing like connecting over hobbies and sports and so on. That's kind of good thing to do. And yeah, we're also doing these videos to give you some tips of what you're gonna do and how to ease everything. So yeah, thank you, Maeve, so much for coming. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, we hope to see you in our next video. Bye.
Bye.